Yes. Yeah, morning all. So before I start, can anyone please confirm whether my voice is clear, whether the screen is visible or not, right?
Yes, sir. All fine from my side.
Okay. So yesterday I was just briefing you about introduction to this Azure Data Engineer. Yesterday in the demo session, right? Was just briefing you about this Azure Data Engineering and this products of it. So just I'll take 5 minutes what we have discussed in the last class. So cloud is majorly utilized for storing data, analyzing data, and delivering data, right? And the advantages of cloud over this on-premises, right? On-premises. Talk about this on-premise databases. We need to set up our own hardware infrastructure, OS installation, purchasing of database license, installation of database server, designing these database objects. Again, to maintain all this, we require separate teams like hardware team is required, operating system team, networking team, security team, database administrators. But here, everything in the cloud, we no need to maintain all this. No need to maintain any infrastructure, no need to maintain any licenses. So data engineers with the help of cloud services, they work on the data and make it structured and useful. Data engineers, mainly they will be extracting the data from the different sources. After that, they will just going to load the data and transform the data as per the business requirements, right? They perform ETL process. ETL, right? Yes. Data engineer is responsible for the smooth data flow from the source to the target. Data engineer is responsible for preparing data, the cleansing or filtering data, transforming data, processing the data. Yesterday I was briefing, right? Yes, data scientist and data analyst and data engineer, right? Yes, data scientist strategizes for the future and data analyst summarizes the past. So he's going to data scientist analyze the data, identify the patterns and recommendations for the future. Data analyst analyze the data, summarize the data of the past, and visualizing the data. Data engineer, right, does all the groundwork for this data scientist and analyst, right? So more than 80% of the data analysis work is done by data engineers. Data engineering involves what are the sources of the data, what is the format of the data, and how to transform the data, and what is the destination of the data. So why Azure data engineering in demand and what are the roles of Azure data engineer, right? So the one by one roles of Azure data engineer. Main roles are designing the entire data flow architecture. Secondly, like creating data warehouse for storage of analytical data. And the main thing what the data engineers, right? The key task of data engineer, right? ETL, extract, transform, load. They're going to extract data from multiple sources, transforming it to structured and queryable form, and then load this data into company storage service. And load this data into company storage service for business evaluations by the data scientist. Yes. Data monitoring, right? Yes. Data monitoring means data engineers make sure that the ETL is performed perfectly in a proper way, and the data is available everywhere and anywhere it is required, right? And data security also, right? There should not be any data leaks. There should not be any data leaks or data exposure, right? So the data is secured at each and every step, and collaboration and communication with the business teams and the data scientists, right? To check if whatever that requirement of their data, and also like analytics, they need to have the strong analytical knowledge in analyzing the data and to transform it into structured and useful form. And automation, even they require some certain processes which has to be get automated, right? Yes. So these are the main roles of Azure Data Engineer. So I was just discussing about this Azure Data Engineering products or services. The main products are Azure SQL, Azure Data Lake, Azure Synapse Analytics, Azure Data Factory, Azure Databricks, Azure Cosmos DB, Azure Streaming, Azure Key Vault, right? So here, if we talk about this Azure SQL, see as a Azure, whatever it is, ADF developer or Databricks developer, Azure Databricks developer, Azure Data Factory developer, right? You are going to interact with the all these products or services, right? So this is for RDBMS, this is for distributed file system, this is for data warehouse purpose, this is for integration purpose, this is for working with Spark kind of environment, right? Analytics, this is for NoSQL purpose, this is for streaming, and this is for protecting your data on the cloud in a simple way, right? Azure SQL, right? It is a cloud RDBMS database. It is a cloud RDBMS database of Microsoft. It's a cloud RDBMS. It is only for it is for OLTP operations, online transactional processing for day-to-day operations. It is not for data warehouse. Azure Data Lake. Azure Data Lake means some distributed file system, right? With unlimited data storage in the cloud. There is nothing but data lake. Distributed file system with unlimited data storage. You got knowledge on Hadoop. We have got Hadoop distributed file system, HDFS. We have got on-premise DFS, right? But Azure Data Lake, cloud DFS. So it is a repository of large varieties of structured, unstructured, and semi-structured data. See, generally, if you talk about this data lake, every data lake provides some benefits. Not every data lake. We take about not only this Azure data lake, any other cloud data lake. Provides some benefits. The main benefits of this first thing is unlimited data storage. First thing is unlimited data storage. Means for your data lake, right? To the data lake, you can bring the data from different sources and dump into this data lake. From different sources, you can extract the data, can pull the data from different sources, and you can just dump into this data lake where unlimited data storage is possible. And secondly, if you talk about this Azure SQL, it's a database where only structured data, mostly you see the data in the structured format. But if you talk about this, supports all formats of data, supports all the formats of data. Supports all the formats like a .txt format, .csv format. .zip. Supports all formats of data. Supports all formats, and not only all formats, all varieties of data. Thirdly, supports all varieties of data. All varieties of data, nothing but structured data, right? Semi-structured data and unstructured data. Semi-structured data means data which is in the form on data which is in the structured form, which is organized in a structured form in the form of rows and columns, like database, DB tables, Excel files. Semi-structured data means semi-structured data which is not fully structured, which is not fully unstructured, like JSON files, JSON, XML files. Unstructured data, right? The chart messages, any kind of articles, or if you talk about the raw data or this raw text, images, videos, all this, right? So here, this Azure Data Lake supports all varieties of data, all formats of data, and unlimited data storage. Right? Yes. For example, here, if here data is in files, observe this, right? Observe this thing. 1 second. Observe this. Data is in files. Data is in the form of files. Files means, okay, we cannot set up relationship between the files. In the case of tables, database table, we can set up relationship by using primary key, foreign key, right? But in the case of files, for example, I'm taking some files, emp.txt file, dpt.txt file, salaries.txt file, attendance.txt. So you have got some txt files. We cannot set up relationship between these files, but if there are 4 tables, we can set up relationship. We can set up relationship, right? Yes. Okay. If you have got orders, for example, you got some tables. You have got some tables like this. Order table is there. Sales transactions, one table. Customers, one table. Products, one table. What is the relationship? What is the relationship here? If I talk about, okay, order, if I take about this order of what? Order of what? A product. About a product. Or I'm ordering a particular, this what product. Order of what? A particular product. Here relationship you can see. Product booked for whom? Booked for whom? Customer, a customer. Product booked for whom? A customer. Once the order is confirmed, it's a transaction. Once this is confirmed, it is a transaction, right? Order for who? Order of what? A product. So here, product of for whom? For a customer, and booked for whom? For it's a transaction, right? Sales transactions. So what I'm expecting, if there is a file, we cannot have relationship, right? So next, observe here, right? So I'm expecting a cloud or DBMS, a cloud or DBMS. Cloud RDBMS, already you got Azure SQL, but I want used for data warehouse. Used for data warehouse, I want. That too, I'm expecting. That too, I'm expecting parallel processing. That too, I'm expecting parallel processing. That is nothing but, that is nothing but Azure Synapse Analytics. Azure Synapse Analytics. That is nothing but Azure Synapse Analytics. Yesterday we have just discussed about the Synapse Analytics. Just I'll bring it here. Azure Synapse, right? This one. Azure Synapse. Cloud RDBMS for data warehouse, for analytics, for batch processing, and for parallel processing in Azure Synapse, right? Here in Azure Synapse, observe, we have a database. Here we have a database called, here we have a database called Azure Synapse SQL Pool DB. Here we have a database called Azure SQL Pool DB. That is nothing but Synapse DB. We have got what? Synapse DB. What is Synapse DB? What is Synapse DB? Nothing but cloud data warehouse of Azure. See, when to go for, when to go for, when to go for Azure Data Lake and when to go for Azure Synapse. Both are in the place of data warehouse. Both are in the place of data warehouse. When to go for Azure Data Lake and when to go for Azure Synapse. Both are in the place of data warehouse. When to go for Azure Synapse? When to go for Azure Synapse is if data is structured. If data is structured and data lake. When to go for Azure Data Lake? If data is unstructured. If data is unstructured and if data is unstructured and semi-structured, right? Yes. If data is unstructured and semi-structured. So we have got a database called Azure Synapse SQL Pool DB. Simply we call as Synapse DB. It is a cloud data warehouse of Azure, right? If Azure, if it data is structured, Azure Synapse. If otherwise, go for Azure Data Lake. Azure Data Factory. Azure Data Factory, right? Yes. Now observe this. It is a cloud-based ETL of Microsoft in Azure clouds. See here, up to now, whatever components we have discussed, right? Azure SQL, Azure Data Lake, Azure Synapse. For example, here if I take OLTP systems, right? Yes, these are OLTP systems. Here I will take a data warehouse. Data warehouse. Now try to say some examples of this OLTP systems for day-to-day operations, like all these databases. If I talk about this, which comes, try to say me the cloud. Just now we have discussed, right? Which comes as OLTP systems, Azure SQL. Azure SQL comes in this. Oracle, MySQL, SQL Server, MongoDB, all this comes and this MongoDB, right? On this comes as OLTP systems. And data warehouse, Azure Synapse, say cloud or DBMS, say cloud or DBMS,
Yes.
the two for data warehouse. Okay, what is that? What are the other thing right here? Data warehouse. I talk about
Azure Data Lakes.
Azure Data Lake also. Azure Data Lake for distributed file system in the cloud. Try to say me on the on-premises which are used for data warehouse purposes, the specialized databases used for data warehouse. Databases which are used for data warehouse.
SQL Server, Analytical Services, SS, AS.
Teradata.
Teradata, I can say Teradata, Netija. Okay. Netija, I can say Vortica. So in this way, right, whatever it is. Okay. For example, I'm talking about this cloud ones. Azure SQL is one, Azure Synapse, Azure Data Lake. See, for example, where so up to now, whatever I discussed, Azure SQL, Azure Data Lake, Azure Synapse, now Azure Data Factory, ADF, where this ADF, Azure Data Factory, it doesn't come in OLTP. ADF, it doesn't come in data warehouse. It doesn't come, ADF doesn't come in OLTP, ADF doesn't come in data. Where it comes, ADF, here in the middle, ADF. ADF, right? Extract the data from this and dump the data into this. ADF, what it is going to do? It's a cloud-based ETL. I said it's a cloud-based ETL. It is going to extract the data and it is going to load the data. See here, ADF performs, here generally it is ETL, but we perform ELT, extract, load,
Transform.
and then transform. ELT we perform, right? Here ADF, it is going to extract the data from this OLTP systems and just going to dump into this data warehouse. It is a integration service. It is what? A integration service between these OLTP systems and data warehouse. Here I said ADF is a integration service. Here I can say, right? Yes. Yesterday I was saying, right? ADF is a integration service between OLTP systems and data warehouse systems, right? Yes. For example, ADF creates data flows and data movement transformations, right? Here, for example, simply just if I want to explain it, today I am doing a transaction. Today I am doing a transaction. Today means, okay, tomorrow. Generally, data warehouse means what? Data warehouse means what? Data warehouse, it stores what?
Historical data.
Historical data. It's going to store what? Historical data. Data warehouse stores historical. Okay. Now, what is today I'm doing a transaction. Tomorrow it is a history.
Sir, can you give one example for the last line? ADF creates data flow for data movement and transformation.
Okay. 1 second. I'm coming to that. Okay.
Yeah.
Today I'm doing a transaction. Tomorrow it is an history. So
Yeah.
all transactions, right? All transactions captured, all transactions captured at OLTP systems, right? Where all the transactions captured, all transactions are captured or stored at OLTP systems here in Azure SQL or Oracle, these things. Even in our course, we are going to discuss how to pull the data, how to migrate the data from this Oracle to Azure cloud, how to migrate from Oracle to Azure cloud or this any other database, right? So from Azure to Azure or from non-Azure to Azure, how we can migrate that. All transactions captured at OLTP systems. How to bring these transactions? How to bring these transactions into warehouse system, into warehouse systems. Generally, we have ETL. What is it? We have ETL.
Okay.
By using ETL tools, by using ETL tools, try to say, what are the ETL tools? Informatica, data stage, talent.
ODI.
Okay. So whatever it is, all these are on-premise ETL tools, on-premise ETL tools. But I need a ETL tool. I need a ETL on cloud. I need a ETL on cloud. That is what? That is what? ADF. That is what? ADF, right? Yes. Using ADF, we can connect with cloud databases. We can connect with cloud databases. We've got many cloud databases in Azure, like Azure SQL, Azure Synapse. Okay, non-cloud databases. Non-cloud databases. And NoSQL databases. Cloud databases, non-cloud databases, NoSQL databases. So here you asked, right? Okay, data movement. Just now I said about this transformations. Okay. Using ADF, we extract data. And pump the data into, for example, data lake. For example, into data lake or Synapse. And then perform transformations. Right? Okay. So here, what is it? Here, we have got a concept of data flows. Here in ADF, we have got the concept of data flows concept, right? We are creating pipelines, data pipelines, right? So from the source to the target, how the data is going to move, right? And we'll apply many kinds of activities, different types of activities we perform, transformations we perform, and finally, the desired output you are going that is going to move to the target. ADF, PDF, we can create. I said um, here we are not going to see any kind of coding here in ADF. It is a zero coding ETL tool. Everything we are going to perform drag and drop, right? Okay. So using ADF, extract data and dump the data into data lake or Synapse, because data lake or Synapse is a kind of data warehouse, and then perform transformations. Again, the results, again, if you want to take it to either data lake or Synapse. Here, working style is ETL. Here it is ETL, but our working style is ELT, extract, load, transform. Extracting first from the different sources, load it, and later transform it as per the business logic. Transform. So generally, ELT, right? For small volumes of data. ELT from huge data, right? From different branches, from different sources. Are just going to pull it and first load it. Later you apply business logic and transform it for huge volumes. Okay, everyone try to respond now. Yes, I want the sessions to be interactive, more interactive, right? For small volumes of data, sorry, it is ETL, sorry, it is ETL. ETL is for small volumes of data. ELT is for huge volumes of data. See, first one, what is Azure SQL? I said Azure SQL, right? In a simple way, try to say in a simple way, right?
It is a
Azure
structured
SQL,
data.
it is like, okay, cloud or DBMS, I can say. What is that?
Yeah.
Cloud or DBMS. And only for
Transaction.
OLTP operations, right? Only for OLTP operations. And okay, not for data warehouse. And Azure SQL here not for analytics. Batch processing means user non-interactive applications. Yeah, user non-interactive, right? User interactive means like online processing. Online processing means user gives the input. If you are making an online transaction, money transaction, you will give the input source destination, source account, destination account. Okay, not for batch processing. Millions and trillions of records, right? Okay. Second, for example, In the same way, Azure SQL and Azure Synapse. Azure Synapse also there. We have got Azure Synapse SQL Pool DB, I said. It is also for cloud RDBMS only, but for data warehouse. So here we have performed Synapse analytics, right? For analytics. And here for huge data for batch as the data warehouse, it's a batch for batch processing. And that huge data you can also process parallelly for parallel processing. And what I have discussed about Azure Data Lake, right? In a simple way, try to say Azure Data Lake. It is a kind of file system. It is cloud. It is a cloud distributed file system, and it is also for unlimited. It is for unlimited data storage. Unlimited data storage is possible, right? Yes. And parallel processing. Azure Data Factory, what I've discussed. Azure Data Factory. Hmm. Simply, in a simple way, what is it? Cloud ETL. Just what is that? Cloud ETL. And also it is a between these OLTP systems and data warehouse systems, it acts as a integration service. What kind of data integration service, right? I can say. Okay, fine. Azure Databricks. It is a Apache Spark based data analytics platform. What is it? Apache Spark based data analytics platform. First tell me what is okay. So what is a Databricks? What is a Databricks? Provides Spark cluster. Provides Spark cluster in cloud. See, generally, okay. What do you mean by cluster? See, previously, what do you mean by parallel processing? I guess I'm going to discuss now. For example, systems are there. This is one system. These are other systems. Systems means we say as nodes. So this is the master node. These are the slave nodes. Master, slave, master, slave. Everything they are connected in a network. See, everything connected in a network. Understand carefully. Master node. These are slave nodes. This entire thing we call it as a cluster. For example, here I have taken a smaller cluster, but if you take a big cluster with hundreds of systems nodes, in that one will be the master, remaining all will be the slave nodes. Systems. Generally, data is there, whatever data, it is going to be divided into smaller parts. Because the huge data, for example, huge data, it cannot be accommodated by a single system. This data can't be accommodated by a single system. So that what happens, data will be divided into smaller parts. Each part will be stored across multiple systems. Each part will be stored across multiple systems. Means here data is distributed across multiple systems and processed by multiple systems parallelly. That is what parallel processing. Just now someone asked, right? What do you mean by parallel processing? Your means very simple. A labor example. A construction work is there. Construction work is there. What do you mean by parallel processing there? I'm dividing a job into tasks. I divided the task. I divided the job into 10 tasks. 10 tasks I'm giving to 10 laborers, 10 persons. 10 persons are working parallelly. Here also, my data, a file, assume that a file, f1.txt file, is a TB is terabytes of data. TB is, assume that 2 TB. That data is split into smaller parts. Think each one is going to be stored across one system. Here 3 systems. Think that some 20 systems. 20 systems storing the data of a single file and processing that single file. Means 20 systems running parallelly executing a single job. What is that? Processing that f1.txt means multiple systems running parallelly. Right here, 2 things you can see. Data distribution. Data is distributed across multiple systems and data is processed by multiple systems. You no need to perform anything here, right? Means everything taken care by this framework like Spark. Okay, fine. Here, understood what is parallel processing? Okay.
Yes.
So here, Databricks provides this cluster. Databricks is going to provide a Spark cluster in the cloud. Okay. So if you have got people who have got knowledge on this big data, Hadoop or Spark, right? They might be knowing about. See here, what is, you may ask, what is this Spark? I am saying Apache Spark based data analytics platform. So here, what is a Spark? What is Spark means? Distributed execution framework. Distributed execution framework in parallel process style. In parallel process style. In parallel process style. With in-memory computing feature. In-memory computing feature. For large-scale data processing. For large-scale data processing. Distributed execution framework in parallel process style with in-memory computing feature for large-scale data processing. So here, distributed execution, you know, parallel process executing parallelly, right? They are going to get data is distributed and in multiple systems and processed by multiple systems. In-memory computing feature, the main thing is in-memory computation. Means data is stored within the RAM, data is processed within the RAM. RAM level storage and RAM level processing. Memory level storage and memory level execution. That's why we say everything in memory computation. That's why Spark is 100 times faster. Spark we say it is 100 times faster than any other normal processing systems, right? and for huge data processing, for huge data, large scale data processing. Spark supports MMP. Spark supports MMP. What is MMP? Sorry, not MMP, MPP. Spark supports MPP. What is that MPP? Right, massive parallel process. Massive parallel process. Very high speed processing, which has got high demand in today's market, right? Spark 100 times faster than normal disk processing, right? Yes, fine. So previously we had Databricks, but again Azure, there is Microsoft, and this Databricks combinedly they have collaborated and they came with this Azure Databricks. So why they have come with this? What is that? They see, okay, why Databricks? Okay, what is normal Databricks and what is Azure Databricks? What is normal Databricks and what is Azure Databricks? What is the difference between these two? And what is the difference between ADF, ADB? Yes, the ADB, right? In the tomorrow session, I will be briefing you more on this. But once check this uh, course content, right? This Azure Data Engineering, 3 products mainly I'll be discussing, but remaining also I'll be discussing like Azure SQL, Azure Data Lake, Azure Synapse, all this I'll be discussing, right? So majorly like ADF, ADB, Azure Data Factory, Azure Databricks with PySpark, right? PySpark. So here overview of these things: Azure Data Factory, pipelines, activities, linked services, data sets, triggers, data flows, pipelines, linked service, data sets, work with different files, Avro file, binary file, CSV, Excel, JSON, Parquet, XML, activities, wait activity, copy data activity, copying data from blob, right? Databricks, and get metadata, delete, execute pipeline, validating, fail, iterations, filter for each if conditions, switch until, trigger, types, schedule, tumbling window, right? Integration runtime, source control, and global parameters, credentials, right? Monitoring ADF jobs, alerts. Okay. What is data flow? What is data flow? What is mapping data flow debugging, right? Transformations, filter transformations, aggregate transformations, join, conditional split, exist, union, lookup, sort, group by, pivot, unpivot, right? Flatten, parse, stringify, and filter, sort, alter row, asset, flow set, right? Validate, flowlet, right? Validate schema, drift, right? Removing duplicate rows. And we'll be seeing many practical examples, right? Nearly 50 examples I'm going to discuss in this, right? All these are the examples I'm going to show, practical examples. This all like nearly 50 example, right? Tasks. Later I'll come to the Databricks. Before I go with the Databricks, I'll be just briefing you about what is big data, Hadoop, Spark, before I go with the actual Databricks. This Azure, right? Introduction to Azure Databricks architecture, Databricks main concepts, and here creating Databricks workspace in Azure portal, Databricks service using Azure CLI, and adding users and groups to the workspace, creating a cluster, getting started with the notebooks, displaying cluster, starting cluster, terminating a cluster, building a cluster information, cluster logs, cluster access control, types of cluster, all purpose clusters, job cluster, Databricks pools, Databricks without pools, right? And high concurrency single node, auto scaling feature, Databricks runtime versions, multi-user clusters, Databricks utilities, credential utility, data utility, file system utility, job utility, library utility, notebook secrets utility, widgets utility, limitations of utility. Databricks integration with blob storage, with the data lake, Azure SQL database, Synapse, and Snowflake. Databricks handling multiple file formats like CSV, JSON, Parquet, Excel files, XML files, ORC file formats, Avro files. Batch processing, historical data load, incremental data load, date transformations, aggregations, join operations, window functions. All this by using PySpark, by using Spark with Python implementation, right? Databricks streaming, also streaming API, streaming data into loading the data into tables, right? Databricks Lakehouse, Delta Lake, difference between data lake and Delta Lake. Introduction to this Delta Lake, how to create Delta Lake, right? DML operations, merge statements, SCD type 1, type 2, data deduplications, right? And workflows in this Databricks. And Azure Synapse, right? You can check with this overviews of pools in Synapse Analytics, Synapse Analytics to query data lake, and with Synapse and apps, Azure Synapse triggers database integration with Azure Synapse, incremental load to Azure Synapse, Key Vault integration with Azure Logic Apps, deep dive into copy activity, data flows, and the Spark pool introduction in Azure Synapse, right? All these things in brief. So that syllabus, see in brief, in depth, you can see, right? We are going to go in depth about all these things, right? So it will be taking around 3 months for this entire Azure data engineering, right? And for ADF, I'll be spending nearly like 48 days. Those who go ADF, 40 days, right? I'll be spending in that, yes. And the remaining things like 3 to 3.5 months it will be taking. And if you people wants, if it doesn't want to spend that much of time, even if you want to go parallelly with ADF and ADB, so that it will decrease the time, right? So people, even that facility is there. Otherwise, you can go one after the other if you can spare like 3 months, around 3 months, right? Otherwise, you can go ADF without, okay, ADF, you can go in Azure Databricks, you can go. There is a ADF, as you know, this is the batch I'm going to, this ADF, one more thing about the timings, I'll make it clear about these timings, right? So what are the things, just observe here, right? In the last class, one second, sorry. You'll be getting the videos of each and every session, right? Soft copy of the class notes, assignments and tasks to work with. WhatsApp group will be created and previously asked interview questions. So for 10 days, right? For 10 days, the class starts for the first 10 days. Class will be starts at 10 a.m. Later, after 10 days, after 2 weeks, right? Will be starts at 9 a.m. 9 a.m., right? 9 to 10 will be. So just I'm making it clear about the timings, right? First 1 week to 10 days will be at 10 a.m., 10 to 11. Later it will be at from 9 to 10, right? So making clear about these timings, and these are the things you'll be getting the, even if you miss any session, right? You'll be getting the session videos of each and every session. They are not downloadable. You can just play and watch it. And each and clear notes, a soft copy of the notes, each and everything you will be understanding step by step. I will be discussing assignments and tasks to work with, and WhatsApp group for directly you can interact with me. And if any error, you can just take the snap of that error and keep in the WhatsApp. I'll be answering it. And also I'll at the last I'll be providing you with the previously asked interview questions, resumes. Right. So tomorrow also people can attend the session to see more discussion on this. So same time, 10 a.m. in the morning tomorrow. And but from day after tomorrow, the link is going to change. Tomorrow you can attend, but from day after tomorrow, the link will be changing. You are supposed to get enrolled, right? For getting the videos to your Google Drive, the notes to your mail IDs, and to get added into the WhatsApp group, right? Tomorrow people can attend the session same time using the same link. You can see in the chart, right? If anyone have missed the yesterday session, right? See, if you have missed yesterday's session, you can see a big message given by this DurgaSoft online team in the Zoom chat. The course content details, area of course content, AD course content, a demo video, right? Yesterday's video, right? You can see that this first 2-3 days videos will be available, right? You can just check this. Okay, you can see that demo link is given, right? Copy that link. If you have missed yesterday's session, you can just check with that. And also the payment details, other things, everything is given in the chart, and the contact details of the online team, right? For anything, if day after tomorrow, if link changed, still if you have not got that link, right? If we can just have that contact details. And people generally do a mistake, right? When they get enrolled, see, they are given in the bold form, right? Underlined form. So even though you got enrolled, you are supposed to send the screenshot of your payment to the mail ID that is provided. Durgasoft online training at the rate gmail.com. People just they'll pay the fees. You won't send the screenshot to that. So once you send the screenshot to them, they'll be forwarding the link from day after tomorrow. The link is changing, right? That paid link you'll be getting, right? So any other queries, right? So that is the timing. This is the things I'm going to provide. Each and everything clearly about all these things. Don't worry about this. It won't be very complex. It will be very easy to understand. Only thing is regularity to the sessions. At least spend at least 1 hour for the practical daily and try to interact in the sessions. All the sessions I want interactive sessions. Whether your answers are correct or wrong, you will be keep responding. Yes, and also the task assignments and tasks what I am providing just to do it. That any other queries, right? So yes, tomorrow also you can attend. We'll see more discussion on this, right? Okay. Okay, if anybody wants to interact with me, right, can just take that contact details of that online team, right? They'll arrange a call with me, right? Yes. But once from day after tomorrow onwards, I'll be creating a WhatsApp group, not from the Durgasoft, I'm going to create a WhatsApp group in that you can directly interact with me. Okay? Fine. Okay. So if I'm done with your queries, if there are no other queries, I will sign off for now. Meet you tomorrow at 10 a.m. Right? Thank you all for your time. Thank you. Meet you tomorrow.